Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle, the podcast that challenges conventional education and invites families to redefine success on their own terms. If you're ready to break free from outdated systems and embrace a life of curiosity, connection, and true freedom, this is your space. Join us as we explore real stories, practical insights, and inspiring conversations that empower you to trust your instincts, partner with your children, and take the path of least resistance toward the life you've always dreamed of.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle. This is our video that will share some of the tips on how to begin homeschooling. Yay! So you are doing your research about whether homeschooling can work for you, or you have exited the system and are now looking for some guidance. The short answer to those questions is yes, you can homeschool. If I can do it, literally the whole world can do it. We're going to build a strong foundation so you can enjoy a life of partnership with your children. The very first step that we are going to tackle is the legal stuff, the legal. I watched a series on Netflix and she was going through some pretty big situations with the city and stuff, and whenever someone explained to her what was happening, all she could hear was legal, and kind of like in homeschooling, while it is legal in most of the world, it is not legal everywhere. And if you are in the US, each state will have different requirements. Now this is not to scare you, but this is a very important part of the process, so you are in compliance with whatever your state requires. While homeschooling does give a lot of freedom, we are still working with the framework of the state that we are part of. I will include some resources in the guide that will be attached to this video, so you can see and click on the state that you are part of and look at the resources that they have available for you and how does their process work. Some people only require registration, like the state of Massachusetts and I believe North Carolina. Some people do require you to follow up with like a social worker type of thing. That is common in the state of Pennsylvania. Every state is different and they have different requirements, and this is one of the first steps, because if you do have requirements, it will shape your journey a little bit different. So that's the first step, the legal. It's not scary. It feels like at the beginning can be a lot of information, can be overwhelming, but it all works together. I promise you, it all works together. Step number 2. And honestly, back in 2020, when we started our journey, I wish somebody would have told me, don't do it. Don't buy curriculum just yet. Just wait. Yes. And so no one said it to me. And I just went straight in like I was like a racehorse. I had blinders. I just was going in a direction of making everything happen. And I spent close to $10,000 on curriculum. Now, it wasn't like big purchases, it was all small purchases. So it felt like it wasn't that much, right? But here is step number 2: save your money. I'm going to say it again: save your money and do not buy any curriculum. Now, it doesn't mean that curriculum is not needed. It's just you're coming off of a system that has guided your life and the life of your children. We feel like we're supposed to go into another system, meaning the curriculum, because we are going to fall behind. And the answer, it is not true. You will not fall behind, and your children will not fall behind, because we all have a different process and a different timeline on how we do our learning. So hear me out again. Don't buy any curriculum. If you feel like you need to, any of your children are asking, then maybe that's a different story. But what tends to happen is that we join homeschool groups and we join homeschool meetups, and a lot of the talk is about curriculum. It's about what are you using for language arts, what are you using for math, what are you using for social studies, and everyone shares their recommendations. But generally speaking, they will not be the ones needed for the way your children learn, because all children learn differently. So if you feel like you need to have a structure, I'll add more into our guide that will be part of this video. If you feel like you need something, let's do the library. Utilize the free resources that are out there. And if you still feel like you are not doing enough, and I'll share this a little bit more in the next couple of steps, grab a journal because this will all be important at some point. So grab a journal, grab a voice recorder, and a voice memo, kind of record those moments that when you feel that you're like, I should be buying curriculum, I should be buying something. Just kind of put a pin on it and let's hold on to it, but save your money and utilize it to bring yourself and your children back together. It could be a short trip, it could be a couple of outings, it could be anything. But I can promise you the curriculum can and should wait. Okay, so this is number 3. Take a breath. Take a breath. Slow down. Bring it to a restful state. Just take a deep breath. And this is super important and where a lot of the magic happens. So imagine yourself and your children, you're on a Ferris wheel. And the Ferris wheel goes round and round and round. And it only stops when the operator says it should stop, right? So it stops. You may be able to pause for a minute, maybe even get out of the little car, but you have to get back on it. And you continue round and round and round. And the operator may only have a very small portion of space that you can, venture out when you get off the Ferris wheel. And you go round and round and round. Okay. So as you exit the system, and that Ferris wheel is the school system. When you exit the school system and when you're given the opportunity to go beyond what the operator had designated for you, beyond the boundaries of this designated area, you will see a different perspective. So you were able to see that when you were going round and round, but it looked different. A building that might have looked like a house is now a museum. Another building that might have been like a store, it's now just a house. So it all looks different once you're on the ground. So as you step off of the Ferris wheel from whatever system you were in, whether it could be a private school, public school, or a charter school, you are now seeing a different perspective. So take a deep breath and move slowly through that new perspective. So you can begin to see what will it look for you, which way you want to go. You may want to go left, you may want to go right. Your children may want to go left, but you want to go right. So there's all these different pieces that come together when we're able to see and when we're able to see the different perspective of the world. And this is when the body begins to feel at rest. We begin to reconnect our bodies with our mind and with our souls. And this is a powerful step into this process, into moving and shifting this new life that you're about to begin. So take a deep breath and enjoy the new perspective that will shape your days, or as you move forward. This is meant to be enjoyable. This is where a lot of the inner work that we have to do as parents begins. Don't be afraid of it. Absolutely do not be afraid of it. This is where we begin helping our children, especially if they have been in the system for quite a few years. There is a lot of things to be worked out, and that it doesn't come out right away. I remember when we exited the system, we were about 2 years in my son, who went to a Montessori school. He would say how he would be put like almost like on timeout outside of the classroom, if he didn't answer any questions. Um, Now, my son likes to answer questions, but they have to be specific. So if you ask them open-ended questions, you will often get like, I don't know. So he would be put in timeout if he didn't answer those open-ended questions. And he will also, during our swimming practice, there were times where I would see him sitting at the edge of the pool, but he didn't look in distress, right? He didn't look like mad, or he wasn't like acting out or anything. And years later, he said to me, he's like, I was some time out. And I'm like, how come I didn't know that? Like, I literally was sitting right there. And he said, I thought you knew. And I'm like, oh, no. How would I never knew. No one ever said anything. He didn't say anything. Now, probably he just didn't know how to. But my point here is that it didn't come out until much later. So, and this is where deschooling, it is a huge part of the process. My humble opinion on deschooling is that deschooling doesn't end, it just evolves. So you work through some things and then it opens up a layer, that you work through it some more, it opens up another layer, but it is not meant to be fast. And I heard somewhere recently, if you wake up tomorrow and all of your dreams have come true, you have missed an important part of the process. And it is so true. So this is part of the process. Deschooling, take a breath, get a new perspective, get off the Ferris wheel that you're part of, and choose your own road, the less traveled road, because a lot of people are choosing this journey, are choosing to be in connection and in partnership with themselves and their children. There's no fast way to do it. Um, Believe me, I have tried all of it, and it all has come back to me, in the way of tears, in the way of resistance. And
Hey there, I'm Anthony, and I'm excited to tell you all about the Alternative Education Resource Organization conference this year in New Hampshire. It's all about self-directed education where kids can learn in ways that make sense to us. At the Aero Conference, families can meet awesome advocates and connect with others who believe learning should be fun. There will be games, workshops, and new friends to make. So bring your whole family and join us. Let's support our unique learning adventures together. You can register at www.aeroconference.org. See you there.
take a deep breath, kind of explore what's around you, and go back into yourself, into your body. Allow your children to go back into their bodies and make that connection. Very often we are very conditioned to not listen to our body because we are waiting for other people to give us permission that it's okay to eat, that it's okay to go to the bathroom. So while it seems very not important, it is really important. It is part of the healing process that everyone will go through as you move into a different life. Step number 4, redefine education. So, as part of your deschooling process, so you did the legal thing, you didn't buy any curriculum. I hope you didn't. You got off the Ferris wheel and you are taking a deep breath, and then you are exploring what your surroundings look like. Is that where you want to be? Are you discovering and reconnecting with your body? Then we begin to build and redefine what education and life with our children will look like. Now, this is where the juiciness begins. The book by Akila Richards, Raising Free People, has a term that she uses, and it's called mad question asking. This is where you begin to ask your questions. Things will come up. Should I be in a place? Should I be getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning every day? Does that work for me? Why did I do that? There's a lot of things that happen. So a lot of memories that come up. So here is where I find journaling very important. There are different exercises, and I'll put some of them in the guide, as I said, to help you see what your values are, to redefine your values. Maybe that was given to you by your parents and you just took it as something that you needed to do, but maybe that isn't what you wanted to do. So this is where redefining education begins to shape your journey. In addition, with all of the other uh, tips that we just talked about. So if you looked at the legal and you have to maybe register, or perhaps you need to take a test, or you are maybe trying to get into a college, if your kids are closer to, closer into the high school range, if you want to do that, then this will shape how your education will happen, right? But it has been but it's kind of like a slow process. There's a lot of ebbs and flows there. So there's like sadness, happiness, a lot of emotions, and that's okay. But it is just like they're all there for a reason. They're all there to guide you into what eventually you're going to be like, this is how I want to be. This is the rhythm that we like. We are morning people, so we get up early and we like to go to the library every Thursday, or we go to the library every Friday, or we like to read at home. We like to go to a restaurant. It doesn't really matter. Your values are your values, and the way you live your life will look very different. So your homeschooling will also look very different. Often people ask, "What's your schedule?" And the way those questions should be answered are from within. So what does your family like? Are your children morning people? Are your children maybe late afternoon people? You like to go to the movies every Tuesday when it's $5, $5 movie. So all of those little pieces are great because they help you shape your journey. And your journey is that your journey. It's very unique. It may look similar to other journeys, like maybe you like to travel and you would like to become a world schooling family, and that is amazing because so many people are doing that. Maybe you would like to become an unschooler like me and go deeper into some of this work, and that would be okay. And it's okay if you don't too. Maybe your children are asking for a curriculum or a tutor. They can help bring their knowledge from a specific trade or profession. And that is so cool. That is so cool, because when you're set up on your values, then your values guide your journey. And you're like, okay, so we like hands-on experience. So then you're going to find people that will help you gain that hands-on experience that your family is looking for and that is valuable to your family. Redefine education, mad question asking, redefine your values, what's important to you as a family, and this will be open to what comes up. Things will come up. It will come up for you as a parent, for your partner, for your children. Uh, and there will be maybe some decision making. Maybe you want to travel for a year, or you want to go in an RV. This is what brings me to my next point. Dream big, but start small. Dream big and start small. Oh, this is so good. Set up your dreams alongside your children, then you all begin working, shaping your rhythms towards meeting those goals. Take a look at the boundaries or some of the dreams that you have and what comes up when that dream shows up. Do you say, oh no, that's not possible? Or maybe just open the window, allow your children to help you in this dream making process because everyone is going to be part of it. And oh, it's so cool. When the kiddos become involved in the dream making process, it is so cool. So allow yourself and everyone else to chip in what their dreams are and start small, working towards that. What does that look like? And that implies reassessing everything that we have known. So you continue to shape your values and what you think education and learning can and should be for your family. That is it. Your family, your children, your connection with each other. That's the most important thing that happens when we begin a journey of home education. Okay. Feels like that was enough. So let's recap. So the first step is the legal. First and foremost, we still work within the boundaries of a legal system that should be considered. Keep everything in writing to avoid truancy. It's still a thing that happens. Like I said, I'll put some resources in the guide for you to read on, and just do not be overwhelmed. The guide that you can check, write your notes if you need to, and kind of come back to it, because your journey will change from the beginning when we get started. As 3 months later, it will look different. So do the legal. Do not buy any curriculum. I will say it again. Save your money. Do not buy any curriculum unless your children are asking, and they are like, oh, I want to do some science experiments. Yes, go ahead and get that. But when you say, oh, we're going to do art, please check in with them, because otherwise that money can be used for something else, right? Save your money. Save your money. Please do not buy any curriculum until it is needed. Take a deep breath. As you step off the Ferris wheel from the system that you were part of, your world is going to look completely different. And then you begin reshaping what education, what learning looks like for you. What are your values as a family? You begin building this foundation that is based on you and based on your children. And once you begin to build this foundation, you also start asking questions. Is this part of the foundation that I want to build upon? So some of the values were given to us by our parents, society, and they may not serve you well, and that's okay. So you get to choose your own values, and you get to choose your own foundation. This is your journey. And lastly, you get to dream as big as you want to, and you get to start small, one step at a time, one journey at a time, one transition at a time. There's just like this new perspective will bring you different doors and windows towards the dreams that you want to make a reality. That is it. So check out our next videos that are in the making, as far as some of the most common questions and how to in the journey of home education, unschooling, world schooling. Some of the videos on that, and human design, which is how I do my work. There are amazing interviews in our podcast with people that have been on this journey a little bit longer than I have, and they are a wealth of information that you can look into. I learned something from everyone, and that's why I do the podcast. I love the work. I love sharing their stories. There's so much value in other people's stories. And I hope this video is helpful to you. And let me tell you, it will be okay. Yes, it will absolutely be okay. My heart is with you as you begin this journey of partnership, of living in partnership with your children and with yourself. This is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. Choosing yourself and choosing your children, it's life-changing. I don't know how else to say it, but it really is though. But there is no fast way to the good stuff. That's all I'm going to say. So take it slow, be kind to yourself, allow yourself to pivot if it's needed. That's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Please remember that your time is precious. I hope you're making it count. Until next time.